Here are a few things to know about Stephen Calk, the once relatively obscure CEO of Chicago's Federal Savings Bank. Obscure, that is, until he became an advisor to Donald Trump and his bank lent $16 million to former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort, a matter now under investigation by both the district attorney and the U.S. Attorney in Manhattan. He's 53, a graduate of West Point Prep, the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign and Northwestern University's Kellogg School of Management, and a former Army helicopter pilot who courted military veterans and active-duty personnel to build his lending business. He was a mortgage banker before he was a commercial banker. In 2011, he and his brother John bought Generations Bank, a tiny savings and loan association in Overland Park, Con, and converted it to a regulated bank. It had $316 million in assets at mid-year, ranking at 2,126 nationally, according to Directory Use Bank Locations. In 2012, Calk told industry trade journal American Banker, "We stick to our ethical practice of working with buyers who have the ability and propensity to pay us back. It is simple but trite. He's a North Shore type. We're a North Shore family. We grew up in the area," he told Crain's last year, when Federal Savings bought Battery National Bank Trust in Lake Forest. "We knew we would want a bank on the northern border of what we cover." More last fall, he and his wife, Donna, listed their Kenilworth home for more than $3.5 million, up from the $2.6 million they paid in 2005. But it didn't sell, even after reducing the asking price to $2.25 million. It came off the market in September. Bloomberg reported last summer that the couple was involved in a divorce case more than 3 years old. Federal Savings was promised $13.5 million in job training funds and tax credits in 2012 to relocate its headquarters from Kansas to the West Loop. The job training grant, announced by Mayor Rahm Emanuel and worth up to $4 million, was described at the time as the largest awarded by the city's TIFWorks program. In 2014, the bank struck a deal with Douglas Elliman Real Estate to become the New York-based real estate broker's mortgage partner of choice, replacing Wells Fargo Bank. Calk predicted the alliance would add $3 billion to $5 billion in loan volume, doubling output, while adding 50 employees to the 400 in Chicago. The Elliman transaction appears to have been the entree to closer access to Trump and his circle. Elliman's parent company, Vector Group, made a seven-figure investment in Federal Savings, Calk said in a 2015 deposition, according to Bloomberg. Vector CEO Howard Lorber, whom Trump once described as one of his two best friends, put the figure at $2 million in a separate deposition. Calk was named last year to candidate Trump's 13-member Economic Council, along with Lorber and better-known names like future Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin, hedge fund operator John Paulson and real estate investor Stephen Roth. In July, a Manafort spokesman described the Federal Savings lending as an arm's-length transaction insufficiently over-collateralized and at an above-market 7.25 interest rate. According to Bloomberg News, the first loan from Calk's bank to Manafort came in December 2016, when a limited liability company connected to Manafort obtained a $9.5 million loan. A month later, the bank provided two more loans, totaling $6.5 million, to Manafort and his wife. The loans represented about 23.5% of the institution's total capital. For a larger, more regional bank, you would not find concentration like that to one borrower, or one industry, Terry McAvoy, a bank analyst at Stephens Inc., told Bloomberg. Bloomberg also noted in July that New York authorities aren't the only ones looking for Manafort's loan records. A lawyer representing Calk's wife in that divorce case is seeking all types of financial records from Calk, including the entire loan file for any and all loans made to Paul Manafort, or any agent. Calk is a longtime client of law firm Mayer Brown. Calk, in a 2008 Crain's 40 Under 40 profile of John Van Gorp, said the Mayer Brown partner advised him to steer clear of the subprime mortgage market before it crashed. "He thinks 5 or 6 steps ahead," Calk said. "He was able to see that threat." Van Gorp says he doesn't deal with loans like those to Manafort. "I don't know anything about that," he says, describing the Calk relationship as more at a strategic level.